I've been obsessed with this psychological theory for 6 months. I've made multiple videos attempting to info dump about it or share this obsession that has been constantly on my mind. It's the most amazing psychological theory I've ever encountered. I'm a last year student of psychology, and I think it applies amazingly well to autistic people, neurodivergent people in general, mostly autistic and ADHD people, which are the people I see as clients as a psychological trainee. And I've came across this theory by reading papers from one of my professors here at university. And to understand it, you really need to know one concept, which is the term dialectic. I don't know if you've ever heard the word dialectic. You probably have heard it before. It's kind of makes me think when I heard about it about a dialogue. And it is kind of similar. They are often used together because a dialectic is a set of transactions that gets you to an end state. So, kind of like a dialogue, but a dialogue is more like a back and forth, whereas a dialectic is a back and forth, but where it builds on the previous exchanges to get to an end position. And so I'm already getting chills in my brain. This is a special interest of mine, and I'm really want to share with you all because I'm on a bit of a break right now. I'm in autistic burnout at the moment, not from masking specifically, but from encounters with difficulties and I'm not going to talk about it, but the point is I really thought it would be useful for me to like share about this obsession, this huge special interest of mine. So, the theory is called the two-polarity model of personality development. Now, two polarities because there are two poles to personality in this model, two dimensions. And the word dialectic I gave you before is necessary because the two dimensions are in a dialectic together. So, what are the two dimensions of human life? Because what is personality? Personality is like basically our psychological functioning, who we are as people and how we are in relationships. And those are the two elements of this theory is like your personal identity, your sense of self and who you are, and your capabilities in relationships, your ability to enter into trusting, mutual, reciprocal, warm relationships, your attachments. So those are the two poles of this theory, the two dimensions. And according to this theory, reaching a mature personality is all about an integration of those two. As we grow up, we learn certain skills in our relationships. For example, we learn early on how to regulate ourselves. Our parents or caregivers will teach us how to take care of our bodily needs, take care of ourselves, how to interact with others in basic ways to meet our basic needs. And this increase our ability for autonomy, for independence, and for self-regulation, which, because it's a dialectic, will increase our ability to enter into more deep, mature relationships. And in turn, those deeper, more mature relationships will help us learn even more about who we are as individuals, will help us explore ourselves once we reach adolescence. We have the importance of, for example, social media or all types of relationships and relatedness with others helps us to differentiate ourselves and see different aspects of who we are reflected in other people, and so it strengthens our personal identity, which in turn, because it's a dialectic, strengthens even more our ability for mature, intimate, trusting, mutual relationships. And then maybe we're adolescents, we're young adults, we get into like an intimate relationship perhaps, and in that context, we discover even more who we are, or we're part of a community, maybe online, maybe in person if we're lucky, with other neurodivergent individuals, and we see ourselves reflected in others, and sometimes we feel a bit uncomfortable, and sometimes we feel like I don't identify with that, but sometimes like, oh my god, yes, I relate and I trust this person. And all these experiences in warm mutuality and connection with others strengthens our understanding of who we are, of our personal identity, of our self-definition. Who are we? What are the things that we like and don't like? How is who I am now connected to who I was in the past, and connected to who I am now, and connected to who I will be in the future? How is it? How do I feel when other people perceive me, and when they hold me in their mind? Am I comfortable with that, or am I okay with that? And all of these things increase and strengthen our sense of self-definition, which again means that we are more able in relationships to connect with others because we understand ourselves better. We have a better grasp on what our feelings are about stuff or about certain events. We can are more comfortable and have a self structure, a sense of who we are that enables us to be a bit more stable and solid and okay, and that in itself enables us to connect deeper with others and to share more and to be more trusting and to have more surface area to connect from who they are, who people are as individuals, to who we are as individuals, and that connection happens better. And that, again, increases our ability to understand ourselves, which increases our ability to connect until we like integrate into a mature personality. The end of the dialectic, so to speak, the end of development where we're able to connect with others and we know who we are. And according to this theory of development of human beings happens usually in young adulthood, and we reach a certain state of personality that is integrated and mature, and we keep developing and learning in relationships and knowing about who we are, but we have this stable self structure which is integrated. And there we go. That's the theory. I think it was okay explaining it this time. I hope so. I don't know. I've been so obsessed with this that now I think this theory of development, it makes perfect sense once I say it like this. At least for me, it's like, oh wow, of course I learn who I am in relationships. But then to see it always in this dialectic where, like a helix, where on one hand you learn who you are and that helps you connect deeper, but on the other hand those deeper connections help you learn even more who you are and get a better sense of your personal identity, which in itself helps you connect deeper. That thing, it's mind-boggling to me for many reasons, for so many different reasons, and I've been thinking about this for months and writing, and so much writing about it, and understanding how it relates to the neurodivergent experience, and I think it really does in very strong ways. But there's just something fundamentally cool about seeing development in this dynamic, dialectical way between relationships and relatedness as such and self-definition of who I am as a person. That they're always in a dynamic dialectic with one another, in a helix, reaching towards an integration in a mature personality. That is completely mind-boggling to me, and I just wanted to share that because I feel like this is the most useful theory I've ever learned to understand what my clients are going through, what I'm going through, to frame my experiences in my life. I think it also really helps to see what happens sometimes when we get stuck and we have relationships. For most neurodivergent people, you know this, where we feel misunderstood or we feel excluded or discriminated against in relationships, and we have a lot of complex trauma and all these things, which lack of recognition is a crucial one, where social media plays a key role in allowing us to see ourselves reflected in other people who are like us. And all of a sudden, we're able to, in a relatedness environment, we're able to learn who we are better, and how that gets the dialectic launched again and back open to then from this dynamic nature of a helix like development, that it keeps growing and they feed each other in a synergy. I find that amazing, and I find that so many different experiences can fit into this. um, and it's just a really, really fruitful, fertile framework to frame what I've been going through the last year, all of my life. So that's the two-polarity model of personality development. Wow, that's a yeah.